for joining us. Me. So my very first question is maybe for us to introduce yourself. I know a little bit about you. I stalked you a little bit, went to your Instagram and all that, and saw that both of you are graduates from NFU,
NYU. Yeah.
NYU, sorry, which is amazing. Um, Maybe you could give a little bit of an introduction of who you are, what you do. I'm an actress, writer, and aspiring director.
Nice. I'm Lenique. I am an actor and a writer. I love all things arts related. I'm into fashion, and that's mostly what I choose to write about. But I also like to write anything, really.
Mhm.
I did go to NYU. I double majored in theater and journalism. So that was a fun time. We met the summer before our freshman year. So, yeah, you.
All right.
I've noticed the way you dress, Lalique. It's
Yeah.
amazing on your
Yeah,
Instagram.
I love it. It's another form of artistic expression for me. So I take like shopping and stuff really seriously, and I love to travel too. So like the where I travel to inspires a lot of like what I wear and things like that.
That's
So
amazing.
oh yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, Mickalia.
Hi.
Also a graduate of NYU. I majored in drama and theater, so that was my thing. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Oh yeah, I also minored in producing. I always forget about that part, but I
I
love
don't know how, but
producing.
she's
That's girl, oh my gosh. But I love like producing my own work, writing my own work, because I feel like as like an actor and performer, like you know like how well you work and you could place yourself in different environments where you're gonna shine and you're gonna look great. So I think it's really dope to create your work and just work from it and just keep on moving with it. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because sometimes if you wait for people to cast you for a specific role, they might not give it to you for whatever reason. That's amazing. I think the same way, being able to write your own character helps you even with bringing it out because because you wrote it, right? So the most basic question I'll start with is how you got started. Obviously, which is the one moment that you remember that made you want to join acting and made you know that this is what I want to go for. This is my passion. If you remember, because obviously most of us are born with it.
Well, growing up, I felt like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was very creative, so my hand was always in something. Like I wanted to cook, then I wanted to be an artist, then I wanted to design clothing. Like it went from all over the place, but like I knew at the end of the day I wanted to create something. I loved making people happy, and that was like me throughout like my time in school. Like everyone knew me to be like the jokester girl or the one who's just gonna make you laugh in a certain situation. And I found like so much influence or like so much comfort in performing and just being like I don't know, just putting on a show for people. Like any opportunity that I had in school, like if we had to do a presentation, I would make it into a skit. And for me, I felt like acting wasn't a thought like in my family. Like my family's from Grenada. I think I put that somewhere, shape or form. But like that world isn't very prevalent there. So when they all came over here, when I grew up here, like acting, like the industry wasn't like a thing. Like it wasn't something that was brought to my attention. But like through like watching television and watching movies and all this stuff, like I just felt so intrigued by everything, and I love performing. And sometimes I love being a different person, adding myself in that role, and just killing it. But I just throughout my entire time, I just like to like grab different aspects of like becoming a new character. And I feel like it's always been in me, but it like showed out in different forms. But I guess when I went to college is when I really like engulfed myself because
You got into
money, all that stuff. Like,
yeah, no choice.
yeah, no choice at that point. But yeah.
Right. I mean, similar to Mickalia, I mean, I was always a creative kid. I was making necklaces, selling that. I was an entrepreneur too. I would sell everything I created. Like I would make lanyard, keychains, books. I wrote my autobiography at like 6 years old. Like I knew I was practicing signatures. I actually told my parents really young that I would watch like Sesame Street and what's it called? The Cosby Show, and I would see Huxtable, and I see Michelle Tanner on Full House, and I told my parents that's what I wanted to do, and
I love that kid. Oh my gosh. Michelle Tanner, I love that kid.
That's what I'm saying. You got it, dude. And I would look and I'd be like, I could definitely do that. And the thing is, my family's also from the Caribbean, and I would do a lot of imitations because the Caribbeans are some very colorful people. So I would, like, whenever something was supposed to be a serious moment or something, and I was getting disciplined, I would always just like imitate and like remember everything. Like my mom would say, and I would go back and be like, my mom said, "Don't touch something," and why me like, you know, just like I was a kid, just doing imitations, like learning accents. The accents was funny to me, so that's just that kind of just brought out the performative side of me, just being a kid. And like I said, my parents saw me and they saw that I was into it, and I said I wanted to do it. So my mom, she didn't know much about it either, but I think in her, when she tells the story, she says she Googled like the best agencies in New York or something like that, and she sent a headshot to each one of them, and I think she only came back from like 2. And one of those became my agent when I was about 5 or 6. And so that's when I got signed. Yeah, I got signed at 5, 6, started working like around that age as well for Nickelodeon. And then as I got older, I didn't want to leave. I still loved it. It's my passion. It's how I feel more comfortable in front of the camera. I feel more comfortable on stage. Whatever is going on off stage is not when I'm on a stage. Like
a happy place when you're there, right?
Exactly. And it's funny because even thank God I had teachers who even saw that in me, who's like Lenique, when when we were rehearsing for a play, like Lenique is like different. Like she'll bring it.
Own level.
Right. I can go off stage and just I'm a sort of reserved person. Like unless I'm engaged in conversation, nobody will really know that I'm super outgoing. So overall on the outside I'm very reserved. But as soon as like I get on a stage, like I'm whoever you want me to be.
The way Beyonce says, when she gets on the stage, she becomes Sasha Fierce. You know, it's something that gets inside. That actually leads me into my next question, because mostly people who are not in the acting business, they think that. Can you hear me properly? Okay, perfect. So most of the people who are not in the acting business, they think you don't really need school if you have the talent. What do you think on that? Because I've gotten that a lot. I personally also went to acting school when I was back in Kenya. I'm from Kenya. Yeah, and when I went there, most people were like, "You're in school for acting? Why do you need school? It's a talent. It's a thing you just go and do." What do you guys, especially because you have a BFA, Mickalia, I noticed you have a BFA in fine arts. Like that's something really big. It took you 8 years, I'm assuming, to get that.
Years. Yeah. So that was my graduate like life in college, but I got my BFA. We both got the same BFA in drama and theater. And for me, I felt like growing up, I didn't have like different aspects of the arts. I would just see things on television and try to like create my own things at home or try to like formulate different aspects of the world. But I feel like as a person, there's only so much you can do. Of course, you can do a lot, but I definitely felt like I needed to go to school. Like I needed to learn more. I needed to learn about the history of theater, the history of acting, how things are created. Like when I went to school, I learned so much. Like my acting levels have like shot through the roof. I'm a star now, but like I definitely feel like I needed college and I needed to study and like the performing arts in order to like get to where I'm at before. Like obviously it's not needed for everybody, but personally myself, I learned so much about the history. I learned how to like edit. I learned how to produce. I learned how to direct. I learned so many different things that have been like influencing the way I act on camera. So I always recommend going to school because again, like life is school. You will learn something every day of your life. So like never say like you don't need it. Maybe like even if like you're living your best life, there's actors who like have been acting for years, but then they go back to college and then they study acting in college. But like you can do it without going to college. Sometimes you just got it, and like once you're in the industry, sometimes you just get thrown and like you just do it.
I
But
actually agree to the point where going to going to school helps you get just deeper in it, you know? Yes, you can know about acting, you can know the talent, but the fact that you got to learn other things like editing, maybe writing your own stories, that gives you more, that makes you more of a not an ordinary actor. It adds more onto you as a person even. What about you, Mickalia? What's your take on that?
I'm all about perfecting my craft. Like no matter what it is, I'm a perfectionist naturally. So like even if I need to move or not, I'm still gonna go just because it's
Yeah.
like I'm not a perfect human being. I don't think I'm ever gonna be a perfect human being. But if I can, I know I can learn. And if I can learn, then why not? You know what I'm saying? Every opportunity is a learning opportunity. I'm always gonna put myself in rooms where I think that can elevate me. You know what I mean? Because everybody's an actor now. You know what I'm saying? And even before everybody was an actor, like the actors that exist are already really good. So you really got to prove yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
I agree.
I'm all about. I know I have certain goals that just it. Those goals made me have to go to school. Like I want to be able to play Lady Macbeth and like be in a Tyler Perry film. Like I want to be as versatile and skilled as possible.
Yes,
So
you can be. Yeah, because
always,
that's how you even get to expand your knowledge, even about life. Because
right.
sometimes when you get to play different characters, you get to understand psychology in a sense.
Exactly.
Because
And it's also not just about
yeah,
acting. It's also just about the experiences of it. Because
mhm,
for me, actually, it was weird because I wasn't gonna go to college, but
no,
because I ended up graduating high school early, so I wasn't gonna go to college right away. I was actually hoping and praying, like out of high school, I just booked something, made it big, and was like, that was it. Especially because at the time when we're watching kids like Miley Cyrus and Dylan and Cole Sprouts on Disney Channel on different shows.
mhm,
They didn't go to college, so I didn't see that in the cards for me at all.
NYU
But they ended up going to
afterwards.
NYU later afterwards. Dylan and Cole
so
Sprouse.
many people haven't gone to college. You know, even Chris Pratt himself. So many people haven't gone, and I was like, but what, I'm not as good as they are, so I think I need
No,
to
that's
go.
really good for them. And you know what? That's another thing. Like I don't compare journeys. Like it was in the cards for me. It happened so unexpectedly that I got into NYU, and it was just kind of like it was really one of those decisions. It was like, well, whoa, like I didn't apply to that many colleges. Number one, and then it was just kind of like, and when I got into NYU, I was like, do I go? And I was like, yeah, you're gonna go. Like, what do you mean, do you go? So I ended up going, and it was great. Would I go to grad school? I don't really know. I don't think I'm trying to be a student anymore. Personally, I don't want to be a student anymore. But I mean, if I see fit, then sure, why not? I'm always up to learn, and I'm older. You meet people when you go to school. You make connections. So it's I would never say that school is like a waste of time. Like if you can do it, do it. But like by all means, if God blesses you and you just blow up a right, go. You better live your best life, right? And how
Be more advantageous for you to go to school though, because you get to learn more, right?
right.
Whoever's listening, go to school.
Go to school, and it feels so good when you get that degree. It feels so good. So
I know. Even your parents obviously feels that because I also graduated from it. Well, mine was a diploma. Let me just put myself down. It was a diploma in acting for film from a school called AFTI. It was
it's a diploma,
That's what
and
I'm
you
saying.
did that,
Right?
So,
Like, don't even.
yes,
Don't you
that's
ever?
not, that's
Okay.
not anything minor.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, now let's get a little bit deeper into what's going on in the world. First of all, where you grew up, how did it shape your career? For example, Mickalia, you ooze Caribbean, as I was told, you described in your biography that you ooze Caribbean culture from yourself.
Yeah.
Um, how did where you grew up shape you into being who you are and into choosing that career that you chose?
It's so funny. I live in a house. It like has transformed throughout the years, but my family is all from the Caribbean, from different parts. My grandma used to live with me. She's from Trinidad. My dad used to live with me from Jamaica, but the majority of people in my house are like Grenadian. So that has been like my entire life. We got our Kirby Go, we got our Selfish and Big. We have everything, our oil down. Just know we're there. But the culture has never like escaped me. And I feel like we live very close, like 10 minutes away from each other, but our environment is full of Caribbean culture. Like all the supermarkets, we have Caribbean food, we have Caribbean everything. And that's something that I feel like growing up, or like currently now, like you do not see like Caribbean anything on like in television in the industry. Like that's not a thing. I feel like the one time I saw like a Caribbean like anything was when I watched She's Gotta Have It, and like her best friend was Jamaican, and she had like an accent. I was just like, oh wow, look at this.
Insecure, they had that Haitian food spot, but like that was it. It was just the Haitian.
But no, like nobody was like,
but nobody,
you know. I feel like it's such a big part of like who we are, and I feel like it's so ingrained in us, but it's never like discussed. Like I said before, people like to this day, my family don't know what I'm doing with acting. They're confused about auditions, managers, agents. It's like weird. So like I'm sort of like living off it and like trying to like grow and trying to add all the aspects that make me who I am, and just like enlighten and bring light to Caribbean cultures and cultures that are just not, you know, displayed on the wide screen all the time. So yeah.
I get that. And that's why you also got into, you want to write and produce, because you said your writing and work, I have to read a little bit of this, pushes boundaries, discusses politics, and focuses on diversity. Is that why that's your main goal?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm crying. Yeah, I made like a web series like 2 years ago. The first web series that I ever did, it was very scary. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just buying stuff and like throwing things in the air. But it was supposed to center around like a Caribbean girl living in New York City. So it just went through like a whole bunch of things that Caribbean people go through throughout a daily life, or just like Black people in general. I feel like the Black experience is like the Caribbean experience, especially if you're in America. Exactly. So I tried to add all those aspects within my film, or even if not my film, my web series. I tried to add music. I tried to add different foods that like I've never seen. Like I think I had roti on the screen or something like that. I've never seen someone eat roti on the television screen. So like I thought those small little elements, even though they're very tiny and minuscule, like I was just like, I've never seen it before. So like let me put it in there. It's something that's important to me, and that's something that I want to see. And like, you know, when you hear a nice slam in like Jamaican tune, or you hear like a soca beat or whatever whatever you hear, you're just like, wow, like I feel that. I go to parties and I dance to that. Look at so much free, and there's more people like me, you know. But yeah.
I've had Caribbean food. First of all, it's amazing. I arrived here like a year ago, so I'm not very much familiar with the place. But I have Caribbean friends. I have one of my friends from Jamaica, and then another one from, what you call this place, Barbados, and their food is so much relates to our Kenyan food. Anyway, not even because I'm gonna start diversing. Before I go into the Black Lives Matter, which is going on right now, Lenique, how did where you grew up add on to who you are right now?
Similar to what Mickalia said. I mean,
I'm sorry, forgive my English. Sometimes it's very mixed up because I speak 3 languages.
Well, your resume must be popular. But yeah, you can't run away from it. Like the culture is so ingrained in our neighborhood. My mom is Jamaican, my dad is Trinidadian, so it's who I am. You know what I'm saying? It never felt like anything was. It never felt like anything was. It's just who I am. It never felt like it was shaping me or anything. It just felt like I am a hot Galarod. Like I am. I love carnival. I love bacchanal. Like it's just it didn't seem like this is something that other people don't know. It kind of felt like I had to grow up and realize you don't know what carnival is. You don't know who Marshall Montana? No,
you don't know who Marshall.
Right? Okay, like I actually grew up and I was like, this is how the other half lives. Like y'all are boring. Like you know what I'm saying? So it definitely gave me my spice, and I think because of how Caribbean women carry themselves, they're confident. They're a very strong group of people, and I definitely feel that in myself, and I see that in myself.
They are very confident.
You know what I'm saying? So it inspires the way I do my hair, the things I want to wear. The music I listen to for sure. I love music. I'm a big music fan, and I'm always listening to dancehall, soca, Afro beats, stuff like that, and it's just like
Afrobeat.
that's
Go
what,
boy.
you know what I'm saying. And I just feel like when you come from culture that's so rich, you can't help but want to make rich work, and like when you come from something so great, you can't help but want to create greatness. So we come
Yeah.
where we come from. There's, like I said, we have carnival, we have music. We're all about arts. We're all about dancing and being free and expression. So that
Mhm.
definitely, I'm sure, is a big reason why I want to do what I want to do.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer.
So,
So when you started, both of you, what are the barriers that both of you faced, both as Black artists and as individuals? If you can give examples of any kind of, uh, let's get serious now, any kind of racism that you faced which hurt the most, maybe at NYU, what kind of struggles did you face as a Black woman?
I'll go first because I feel like I don't have like I'm,
No?
but I think for me, to be honest, I can't recall any instance that have happened in front of my face
Mm-hmm.
ever. I've grown up in rooms where I was the only one. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, and it's so funny because I feel like I was so used to it that by the time I got to college, I didn't even notice sometimes when I was like the only one. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the kind of it's also, it was kind of sad to see because it's just like, why does nobody else look like me? But also I feel like what that did for me was just made me feel like, okay, I have a duty here.
Mm-hmm.
Have like when I so now I have this goal to make it, and when I do make it, I'm going to make sure that people that look like me can also make it. I'm going to try to create opportunities for other people.
I'm
So
gonna put Tyler Perry, you know.
yeah. No, I don't know.
No?
Yeah. Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I don't want to say Tyler Perry. I would be Lenique Vincent, but I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
definitely with the same goal and intention behind it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that did for me. Yeah, I don't think I've experienced any like hardcore, like anything to my face, really kind of thing. And honestly, if I did, I think because I started out in the industry so young, my mom, I don't give that any energy. So if it did even happen to me, I probably didn't even realize it because I think what something that's important that every African American in the industry should know is that you're here to work regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, whether I mean, it's gonna be hard because people, you know, of how people are, and there's some pretty nasty people in the world, but the way I've learned to cope with it and what I tell myself is that what's meant for you is meant for you. Your talent will not go unnoticed, especially if this is your dream and your passion and this is what you know you're meant to do.
Yeah.
None of that hatred and that bad energy could hold you back. It's not. No matter how it will be a problem and it will be hard because you probably will be better for something than someone, but a lighter skinned person got it or a white person got it. But that should never be the reason for anybody to give up.
Never bring you down. Yeah.
When you have talent, you have talent, and when you know you have talent, be sure you know you need to really know. You need to believe in yourself because nobody's gonna believe in you the way you believe in you. So
Mm-hmm.
somewhere no racism, you better work.
Word.
Over to
What's your opinion on that, Mickalia?
the question.
Hmm. It's been an interesting journey. I say this all the time, but like it wasn't like a straightforward journey. Like my schools, we didn't have any like performing arts opportunities. Like so that wasn't a thing in elementary school. Like I didn't there were no performing anything. In my middle school, not a lot of anything. My high school didn't have like an auditorium. So like everything we did it in the cafeteria, and they didn't like make it their mission to like do performing arts. So I don't know if it was funding or if it was all these other aspects. I don't know. All the schools that I went to, they were majority Black schools. So I don't know what that has to say about anything, but that's just something I noticed throughout my experiences growing up. And for me, just trying to like just make it by myself, I feel like that was just like a weird um it was like a weird thing because it was I was online looking for auditions, looking for certain things, and like you obviously see every single day. Like I would go on these same websites all the time and look at auditions, but you
Yeah.
would see most of the time like the roles are like for white people. And that was just a common thing. And to this day, like I still see that. Like and that's just a common thing. We just don't have as much opportunities. That's why we have to work 10 times as hard as the next person, which is such an evident thing. That's what I'm saying. It's just a lot, and I find it so crazy because I feel like when I don't know, there was like a time in college where like the Black Lives Matter movement was like popping for like a very large. It's been popping forever, but like it was just like strong, and then like people wanted to have like more black people in their films, so you saw more auditions for black artists. And like I've heard like numerous times like the white people in my school, they were just like, wow, like you guys have it so lucky, like they wouldn't want me, I'm just like a little plain old white girl or like white boy, like why would they want me? They want someone. They say that all the time. I was just like the one opportunity we have, like chill
you guys
out.
are trending now, basically.
That's basically what it is, and that kind of sucks because you see that in the industry how we're like literally trending once something happens. Like currently right now when all the racial and the police brutality, all that stuff was popping, well it's still popping right now, but people have been asking for more like black people, more people of color to just be in their films so they don't like appear to be the bad guy, and that's just dangerous.
I
And like
know.
it's sick because I've like placed myself in different aspects of the entertainment industry, like behind the scenes. Like I used to work for this casting agency, and the notes that they would write about certain people were kind of sick. Like they're just like, oh like, yeah, like this dark skinned girl, she looks really nice, blah blah blah. And like they would like write certain things that doesn't really matter, or like, oh this person was too aggressive, or this person talks. It's just like these common like connotations of black people. Like tired of hearing, like I've heard every time like a black person, someone's like aggressive or sassy or just like doing a lot, and it was just like all these words, and it was like, okay, maybe they are doing that, but like every time a black person comes in using the same words to describe them, that's weird, and that makes me uncomfortable because I was in that casting internship because I wanted to see what happened behind the scenes and what happens when people are like casting for people. So I was just interested to hear all that, and it made me very wary about the rooms that I step into, because I know people aren't going to be there for me, and that's literally a thing. And like another like class that I did, I actually went to LA. This was like a 2 credit class, and we met a whole bunch of like directors and writers and actors. And like me, you know, I have a big mouth, so I was just like, how do you feel about like diversity in your offices? And the majority of them were just like they didn't know what to say. And like some of them would be like, oh yeah, we like have like the office is 20% women out of like 80% men. I was just like, okay, well that doesn't like really talk about diversity, number one, because there's many different types of women, and you know, intersectionality, all that stuff exists, but people are just like, people are ignoring that. And another funny thing, and there's so many things that scare me, but one of these writers, I think it was a producer or something like that, they're just like, oh, when we sell our movies and when we sell our television shows to people across the world, sometimes they don't want to see like an all black show. Sometimes that's not what people like. It was like a whole bunch of things that came into my mind, and I was just like, what is happening? So I'm like, when people are producing, when people are casting, they have these things in the back of their mind, like, oh, we don't want all these black people, or like if we have this one black person, we can't have 2 black people in the same show because sometimes we're overdoing it. It's too much. But I'm like, that mindset that you're overdoing it, that means you're probably doing it for the right reasons. But yeah, there's so many things behind the scenes that I've like placed myself into, or so many things that I saw that made me very like just cautious about the places that I enter into. So yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes when I got here, I worked as a PA for a certain amount of time, thanks to C. And when I was working there, I realized that behind the scenes, in front, there might be a couple of black actors there because the story obviously tells about a certain African who did this and this and this, and obviously the family has to be black. But I noticed behind the scenes, sometimes 80% or actually 90 is white males. And that didn't bother me at first because I'm from Kenya. I really don't know about this whole racism thing. Sometimes I'm very colorblind, you know?
Yeah, no.
But when it was said during some of the C meetings, I'd notice these things and I'd be like, some of them, it's not that they're just racist. Some of them don't even notice it. They're just working with people that they know, you know? Sometimes it's not even about ignorance. Sometimes it's about ignorance, yes, but sometimes it's just there's this level of not caring that people have. They're like, that's not my focus right now. My focus right now is who's gonna do this movie, and I'm not gonna go nitpicking and picking this black, this. They're just going to focus on the the what the person can bring to the table. And do you think, now my question is, do you think that that type of thinking that some of the people have is considered racist if they're not focusing on the race and mixing the people and focusing on what the person brings to the table? What do you think about that?
I wouldn't say they're racist. I'd say they're irresponsible, because I feel like if you're going to be in an industry where there's a huge problem, where diversity, something like diversity is a problem, you're
Yeah.
naturally responsible to make sure that you're part of a solution. So yeah, if you just happen to cast an all-white cast and they were really bomb, then I mean, okay, fine. But you should always be trying to create space for other people and helping other people as much as you can. I'm not saying anybody has to commit their life's work to that, but it's very important. And I feel like everybody should have a sense of responsibility when it comes to something like that, because, like, there's people in this world who want to be represented on the screen.
Yeah, and I think that's why. Yeah.
Somebody has to be responsible. And we all might as well, since we're all part of one community, part of one industry, we might as well all share a little bit of that responsibility. So no, I don't think that everyone is racist, but I do think that some people can be super irresponsible and sometimes inconsiderate. And I feel like it's unnecessary, and I feel like it can change. But people want to
That's
change,
why.
and want to educate themselves on certain things. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why um I think it has taken so long for things to change, because there's those people who will not be racist. They'll not be like they'll not say anything racist or anything, but they are irresponsible. I like that you said that word.
Because you're not doing anything, and that's no better than being racist. If you can
Now
make
everyone wants to do something.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, I'm a strong believer in if you can do something, do it.
Yeah.
Why not? It's not gonna take anything away, especially if it's not gonna take anything away from you to do it. If you're in that position of power to make a change, make the change. If you're not making that change, then you are part of the problem, and I will steer clear of you personally.
So what's the biggest lesson you've learned since you started, from when you started to where you are right now? What's the biggest lesson you've learned in terms of the creative and film industry? Mickalia.
If I know a big one I'm learning now is if you don't celebrate yourself, no one will. And you really have to celebrate yourself in this industry. No win is small.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I
and you
agree.
have real hard.
The Leo in me right now is like, yes.
Yeah, as soon as whatever you do comes on TV and it's over, you're back to auditioning again, and you're gonna be, you're gonna be down for when you see yourself again. But that high only lasts for so long. So how do you keep that high when you're not gonna see yourself on TV and you're just auditioning and you're getting rejected? You really gotta learn how to clap hard and celebrate yourself, because if you don't, no one will. Because a lot of people don't understand the industry, and you're only successful when you're doing what Denzel does, and you don't have to audition anymore, and you're a Viola Davis. But every success is a success for an actor, no matter how small, union, non-union. A booking is a booking, and you need to celebrate that and let that be enough for you. And when your acting starts to feel, because it is hard. Like this career is just rejection. You're getting it's really hard. It's rejection. We get rejected every day. You know what I mean? And on top of that, like, it can be super competitive. If you're not around the right people, they could really drain you. Thank God for her, because like I don't see her as my competitor, even though we're in the same field, we're friends, and that's hard to find. So what I think this is like a part B of the big lesson is oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Part B. Oh, fine. Don't make don't make the auditioning and the career. It's not your happiness, if that makes sense. This is your passion. This is your work. But find it's part of what makes you happy, but find happiness in other things. Like for me, that's in writing. For me, that's just picking out an outfit and getting dressed and going to an event to write about for a publication. For me, I would like to start my own publication one day, and I want in my spare time when I'm not acting, when I'm not auditioning, I can turn to that. You know what I'm saying? I can wear a different hat, because to live in that world all the time can be draining, and we're not gonna act like it isn't. We're not gonna act like it isn't.
There's something that Eddie Gathegi from the show Blacklist once said when he came to Kenya. He said, "Expect 99 no's before you get that one yes."
Yeah,
that's right. That's why I'm doing some behind the scenes, because just in case this isn't working, I'm gonna go behind there and be like, "What's up?" and maybe do.
It doesn't even have to be a plan B. Like, I know when I double majored in journalism, people were probably thought like, "Oh, that's my backup plan just in case I don't make it." No, I'm gonna make it. I just like other things, and I don't want. I'm in a conservatory program, so 3 days out of the week, 12 hours a day, I'm in one space with the same group of people reading Shakespeare and crying because I just don't know where art thou, and I'm just crying. Like, you keep it's a lot. It's a freaking lot. So journalism, I don't have a plan for the rest of my life, but definitely need some things to be like, I love you, Shakespeare. I love you, theater. I love you, stage left, but I'm gonna head stage right and do this for now, because that you need that for yourself, and you celebrate yourself in all that you do, even if it's not acting, if it's what in your other hobby, anything that you do, celebrate yourself. Everyone is a big win, no matter what. That's the thing I'm learning right now.
Nobody else will. Everybody will try to bring you down when they see something good in you. You know? What about you, Mickalia?
Scooby-Doo. I was gonna say, like, ditto to what you were saying. You're gonna get, like, 99% of no's, but that one yes feels so good. It feels so good. It's just like, wow, I did this. I didn't really know what I learned, but when Lenique was speaking, I was like, well, I'm gonna place that on me. I need to like place all this goodness into my life and think of different ways. But when she was speaking, I thought it's a good thing to find enjoyment throughout the process. Like, sometimes I think I have so much fun, like, prepping before an audition. Like, I love like memorizing. I love creating like the character within the script. I love marking up my scripts. I love like creating something completely new and then going into a room. Sometimes I shit in the room, but like I love the process that I'm doing before I get into the room. Sometimes I kill it in the room, but it's just like I feel like the whole process of it can be draining as hell. But once you find things that you enjoy, once you're yourself, once you're your freaking self, and like you know you're doing everything you can, like you have nothing to complain about at that point. But yeah, I think you have to find comfort in all the aspects of this crazy ass entertainment industry, because
you gotta be built for it.
You gotta be built. You gotta live.
You really gotta work
exactly.
Everybody has to work, has certain muscles they have to work out, and in this industry, you have to work out a whole lot of different muscles, because you gotta carry a lot. You do, and
you gotta stand out too. You know?
Is important. Sorry.
You gotta stand out too. Like, you have to stand out. There's so many people in this.
Close. I completely feel you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. One last question. So, which was the first one that you got? Which was your best experience while acting, writing? Which mainly acting, because mainly here we're talking about acting. Which was your best role that you played, and did it challenge you, or did you? I have actually two questions. First, which was your best role? I need to organize my brain. Which is your best experience while working as an actor? And second, have you been typecasted at all in any of your journey? In your journey, have you been typecasted? Because I have, and I don't like it.
I want to know about your experience, but I don't know. I don't think I have like the best experience. I feel like throughout, I probably had some shitty experiences, but I feel like I found like so many great things with every one of my performances. I did this one performance in like my studio where I got to sing, and I've never sang before at all. And everyone was just like, "Oh my gosh, she could sing!" And I was just like, a little bit, like it was like, it's something that still like is nerve wracking for me. But like people saw me in a different light, and people like they thought I was more talented. I was just like, okay, I'm talented here, come through. So I guess that was a fun experience for me. But I feel like that opportunity allowed me to get so many other opportunities, because we're just like like they grabbed me. They was just like, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Because we really like what you did in this thing. I love literally anything where I could just put my mind into it. I think I love all my experiences. I'm not gonna lie, but when I was writing like my script for like my web series, like I was reading through it with like a couple of people. They were just like, yeah, this is like one of the funniest things I've ever read. I was like, really? That's my first time writing anything. Like, are you serious right now? So I think I'm just eager when I do things that I'm afraid to do and people are excited to watch it or people are excited when they watch it. Have I been typecasted? I haven't been typecasted, but there's been like roles I've gotten and I'm just like, is this like an actual person? I just like I remember I got this commercial and it was just like, oh, like you have to read like these lines and like just record it or whatever like that. And one of the lines was just like, oh, you have to snap, like nod your head and say mm-hmm. Like it was just like the most like cringiest thing. And like I got that audition last year and I was just like, why is this in my face? I was just like, is this a real thing? Like, huh? You like what? Don't put that into me. And I had to laugh. I saw it and I laughed and I said, exit out. I'm like, I'll stay broke if I have to, but I'm not auditioning for that. I said, no, no, thank you.
I'm still thinking about my role. The first thing that came to mind, though, I think I also enjoyed all the roles I've played, but the first thing that came to mind was in 5th grade. My school had Tada Theater Company come to the school, and we had to put on a play. We basically like wrote. It was our play, so it was about Julius Caesar. And who did I play? I played Brutus, I think. No, I don't remember who I played, but it was also my first time like singing. I was a part of like Glee Club, but I had a solo. And I remember when that play happened, my 5th grade teacher came up to me and was like, after we got casted, and she was like, I know this is what you do, you love acting, but we really want to give somebody else a chance for Julius Caesar. But this role is really good too, and we're gonna. And I was like, no, I'm excited for it. And like I just remember the process of it. And then when they gave it solo, like I remember the company they wrote the song and they purposely gave me a solo. I remember singing it and just feeling so proud, especially like when I performed it, because the kids gave me hell in rehearsal. Like they would laugh when I would go up and sing and like stuff like that. And it was just like rehearsal used to be terrible for me. But I still have the recording on my little flip video somewhere. And when I tell you I didn't care, like I was wearing my the toga. I was wearing my toga and I had to stand up because I was the one who said friends, Romans, countrymen. And then the song started, friends, Romans, countrymen. I remember the song and everything. And I felt so good. Nobody can tell me nothing. And I was like, y'all want to laugh at me in rehearsal? Watch this. I was like, I'm not feeling it. And I just remember feeling that. And it's sad because as you get older, you kind of lose a little bit of that spunk you have as a kid. But I really do. I remember that. And I remember, like, I also did, I was a fairy godmother in Cinderella after that. I killed that too, I think, if I do say so myself. But it was just because of that original role. And I was just like, no, I think I was the godmother before this. But either way, it was just an amazing experience. And I knew that I wanted to do, like, in 5th grade, I knew I was going to be an actor. And after 5th grade, after elementary school, I went to a performing arts middle school. Then I went to performing arts high school. So I've been a drama major for majority of my life. And that character, Brutus, really put me. I was like, girl, you did that. And that's like, yes, and that feeling is something I'll always remember. It was the first thing that came to my head. As for typecasting, I don't think I've looked enough yet to be typecasted yet. So I hope I don't, because I really pride myself on being versatile. But I mean, if anything, I think maybe my agent sees that I do better. Like I can book a voiceover faster than I do like a commercial or something like that. So I know my agent will send for every voiceover commercial. Like, so I don't think that's typecasting though. I just think she's playing within on my strength. She's playing. She's playing to my strengths. Yeah, she's playing to my strength. And that's voiceovers for me. But I wouldn't say I've been typecasted yet because I'm crazy and I don't give people the chance to typecast. And I am, like, in school, I did everything so that they didn't typecast me. I wanted to play a man. Like, I still have a teacher who like keeps in contact with me and remembers me for wanting to play. I love Lady Macbeth and I would love to play Lady Macbeth, but I told her, I was like, I want to be Macbeth. Like I'm like that person in the creative process. Like I'll be what is his name in Fences? Troy? Corey. I'll be cool. No, it's not Corey. What's his name?
Roy, that felt right, but I don't
I don't know,
remember.
but like I remember we were for fences in school, and I played the dad. Like I wasn't Rose or Viola Davis's character. I was Denzel Washington's character. Like I'm always that type of person that I want to try the things that maybe I can't do because I want to be able to do them. So I always I always my teachers like, don't make me the prince. I'm small. Don't make me like the cutesy friend or the girlfriend. Like let me be the grandmother. I played a grandmother one time in school, and I remember that felt good too because my teacher was like, "Wow, like you really was hunched over there." I was into it. But yeah, I don't try to be. Yeah, I try to do as much as I can to avoid that.
I see. Well, one last important question that is probably pretty important for this interview.
Sorry, my mom just texted me. I played Mark Anthony. She's watching it. She's watching it right now. You played Mark Anthony.
Let me know and pretend I know.
And you know what she remembers? Because I killed it. That's why. That's why she remembers.
Try and redo it again. I don't know.
I really would love to because it was a great experience. Yeah.
Well, the last most important question is what advice you'd give to black youth, or sorry, people like us, that's what I mean, who want to get into this industry, both in acting and in writing. What advice would you give to specifically the black community?
Do it.
Yeah.
We need you here. We need you here. We need more people that look like us doing this. And you're not just black. You're black, you're talented, you're driven, you're ambitious. Be all of those things. Your blackness is not just your identity. And I mean, it's a good part of our identity. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not. I don't feel like my blackness hinders me in any way. So,
oh my God, me too. In fact, it's just my thing. It projects me into the
I feel good because I know. I mean, I try not to think too much about what people think of me, but we know that there are, like we were talking about, nasty people who think that black people are incapable of certain things, and proving them wrong feels so good.
Oh no.
So good because
I'm going to go into a room, work twice. No, thrice as hard as you.
That's everywhere though. That's the only industry. And black people in general, you're gonna have to work twice as hard. So pick if you want to do this business, it's not gonna be any different from if you wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the career itself is different, but being black anywhere is gonna be a challenge. But do it. Take that challenge on and be proud about it. And like I said, just remember to clap for yourself, find other things you love so that this just doesn't consume you and the negativity of it doesn't like just suck the life out of you. But I say 100% go for it. Don't think that I don't know if I'm gonna be picked. No, do it. Do it.
Nike.
Legit. Like I feel the same exact way. Like when we went to school, we like saw like so many different people. No, when we also studied abroad in Abu Dhabi together, and when we went there, everyone was just like, "Oh my God, you're in Tish!" Like, "Oh, like I would love to be a part of Tish, but it's just like I'm not gonna do it." And like even when we're here, like a lot of our friends, they do multiple different majors, like outside of Tish, but they were just so intrigued with everything that we were doing, and they thought we were so like brave and like just so amazing for like placing our like careers into this like field that's like not very stable for a lot of people. But it's just like if it's something that you really want to do and something that you're so passionate about, like you have to go for it and do it. You have to trust yourself, number one, because if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to do it right. We have so much power, we have so much capabilities within us, and if we just go out there, we could literally change the world. Of course you might not change the world with the first thing you create or the first thing that you're in, or maybe you could, but like it's hard, and it's something that you have to like work on. It's something that you have to practice and do over and over. But yeah, like trust yourself and just do it. It's hard. I'm gonna tell you, it's hard.
And the last thing,
go ahead.
The last thing I will say is also walk into every room like you belong there because you do. Don't think because you might be the only black person in the room. Don't get timid. Do not get timid at
In
all.
fact, it's unique.
Take that as an opportunity to show all those non-POC, non-black people that like you're where it's at. That take that opportunity and remember that this is, like I said, we all have a responsibility. And when you're a black person, the only black person in the room, it's part of it's not our full responsibility. And you don't represent the whole black diaspora, but it is part of our responsibility to, I'm gonna make everybody else that looks like me look good. So if I'm the only person of color in the room, I'm not gonna be apologetic about my presence in the room. I'm gonna make you feel me. You know what I mean? So
the thing that I'm going by. We're just saying that every time I walk into a room, I'm not here to take part in the business. I'm here to take over.
Right.
Like, make sure they notice me in a good way, obviously. And then be like, whoa, that is not even a person like us. Obviously not trying to like show them that I'm better than them, trying to be as humble as I can, but still showing that I can do well.
Like everybody should feel that way about themselves. It's not even a matter of being humble. Everybody should feel like I'm here to take over. And not in a way where I don't want to be I'm gonna be dominant. I'm gonna really just take over, not literally, but in a sense of like I'm going to put my energy into this, and you, like I said, you're gonna feel me. You're like that's it's not about I'm gonna book every single job up here and none of you have nothing on me. Like I am it. Like no, that's never the intention. But everybody should feel that way about themselves. Like I'm here to do what I was placed on this earth to do, and you should. You should, as an actor, and even as a human being, we should all strive to help each other do that. Because helping other people doesn't take away from your shine or what you can do. You know what I'm saying? So it should always be a collaborative effort rather than just like, I'm here to take over. But you know what I mean? It's like, you're here to take over, but like as part of an ensemble, basically, right?
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I'm just like, be yourself. Be a good person. Enter into
just
space.
Be a good person. Help others.
That's what I'm saying. Like what you say, if it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. You can go into a casting room and they might like your acting better than the person who got booked, but they booked the person who got booked because they were like 3 inches taller than you.
Or have more followers on
exactly.
Instagram.
Or it's like,
but
yeah,
what's for you is always going to be for you. And somebody, you might not get one job in one room, but there's no harm in being memorable, because somebody can always remember you for something else, and that has happened to me. There are two things that I booked that I didn't audition for, and they just call me because they remember me from something else. My 3rd episode of What Would You Do recently premiered, and I only auditioned for the first one I ever did. The second one they just called me, and the third one they also just called me. So that's not, obviously I'm not bragging about that, but I'm just saying, like, when people remember you and you show what you can do, it gets done. And actually, I think I auditioned for What Would You Do before, and I don't think I got it. And I think the second time I auditioned, I got it, and then
they remembered you.
Yeah. So
good.
Yeah. That's some real stuff.
yeah. So take advantage of every opportunity. Always show up and show out. No matter.
Yeah. Nice. I think we have probably a few minutes left. I'm just gonna do a random question. Who in this industry do you look up to in terms of acting, in terms of writing? Both.
Right.
I'm glad that we're both actors and writers, because I'm learning a lot from everything that you guys are saying. So that's good.
For me, I think I'm like so inspired by people who like can create their own futures for them. Like I love Issa Rae. I feel like I was watching Issa Rae's web series when I was like in 8th grade, and I was just like, why do I connect to like this like 30-year-old woman like so much? I'm like, I feel you. I am also an awkward Black girl. But I was just intrigued. Her web series was looking real sloppy. It wasn't the best. She probably filmed some on her phone. Like everything was sloppy, but the content was so good and it was so amazing. And I used to go on every week or every 3 weeks, depending on whenever they posted it. But like I was out there watching it because the content was good and it was amazing. And now look at her. Issa Rae is like, I felt that energy. I was like, her stuff was amazing.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't grab her and put her in something, there's gonna be a problem. And the same thing with Todrick Hall. I used to watch Todrick Hall when he had like his singing videos, and now he's produced so many things. He's been on so many shows. Just been doing so much, and I'm just like, I'm so intrigued how you can literally start your way up, like basically by yourself, create your own work and make your way. You're creating work that you want to be a part of and things that people are interested in, and it's just like, wow, like that's a great feeling. That's something amazing. Like I'm producing something that I love and that people like are fiending to watch. Like we watch Insecure every week. Like we haven't missed an episode. That's my show. Like it's it. But yeah, I think I'm inspired by all those people. Yeah.
My mind is like racing right now because so many names are going through my head. But I will say, because everyone loves her, and if you don't love her, it's like, what's wrong with you? Kerry Washington. I love me some Kerry Washington. I love her. I love her power. I just, oh man, I think she just possessed something so special that when she's on a screen, she's understood. And I had a teacher that said, like, the actor's goal is always to be understood. And Kerry Washington just never misses a beat for me. She never does. And I have to say honorable mentions. One of my favorite actresses, Nomi Rapace. I love Halle Berry. I love Angelina Jolie. I love Zoe Saldana.
Oh my gosh.
All these people I was watching, I take so many different things from them because they do what they have to do. Like they really just do what they have to do, and that they're just they can do anything. I love people who aren't just one character all the time. I love people who do multiple things, and I can say that for sure. Angelina Jolie and Halle Berry, like they are never the same character in anything. So I can sit down and watch all their movies. Angela Bassett.
I was waiting for you. I was like, girl, you can say Angela.
all right. Angela Bassett. That's what I have to say. Angela Bassett. But yeah, those are the people who inspire me every day, every single day. And just watching their movies, I consider watching a movie that they're in like I'm working. Like I'm working because I'm studying. I'm studying. Whenever they're on this, like I watch a lot of movies. My mom and I can sit down and watch movies from here to next week, till next month. Like we just sit down and watch movie after movie, and I study those people. And I try to listen out for monologues. I could do scenes. I could do even. And I really want to do a lot in film. Not that I do pilots and things, but I've always been interested in film. I want to shoot a movie so bad. Casting directors, if you're watching this, if you see, I could do a movie. Right, book me for your film because I've been studying. But yeah, those film actors are bomb. Like I love them.
You do monologues?
Sorry?
You do monologues?
I do.
Some weird ones, but I did a Kerry Washington monologue once.
From which
Scandal?
I did a monologue by Kerry Washington, the bitch baby monologue.
Which one is it?
The little bitch baby monologue. Kerry Washington from Scandal.
From Scandal, right? Yeah, I knew when she was talking to the president, right?
Yeah, the president's, I don't know, assistant or something, the president's advisor, that one. And he's like, you're nobody's little bit. Well, I didn't obviously do it the way she did it, as amazing as she was.
I want to see, share the world, share to the world. I want to see. I need some artistic something in my life. COVID hurt.
Monologue now, break monologue.
Which monologue have you done? I saw one on your Instagram. I've been meaning to watch it.
I try to do all kinds of monologues. I actually need to re-up. I don't think I have any monologues under my belt that I'm in love with right now, which sucks because the ones that you love really showcase you. But I don't know. I think I need to read more plays and also like go back to just like the ones that I've been watching, because I also feel like a big thing that I do, I'll find some bomb monologues, but the person is like 52 and I'm 22, so I can't do it. You know, like there are certain things where it's just like this, I would really kill this, but I know. Like there's a monologue for Colored Girls that Janet Jackson did, it didn't mean nothing to you, but it meant something to me. No. That's the wrong thing.
I think I know what
That's the I don't need no more apologies.
Yeah, that's it.
I have that one.
Yeah.
The other one that I like, that was from I didn't mean nothing to you, but it meant something to me to have you up and walking on. That's from an August Wilson play. That's from Guitars, I believe, by August Wilson. And I love that monologue, but it's literally a lady crying to her husband who left her. So some of the monologues that I find and I do in my spare time just to keep me going, I probably wouldn't do in front of a casting director because it's just like, it has to be age appropriate, whatever. So I'm definitely working on getting my monologue game back up there. But I really do love a good monologue.
Have you seen the one by Viola Davis? Fences.
Yes, and when she's like, I don't want no half nothing. I don't want no half nothing in my family, Troy. I love it.
Oh, your voice literally went like her Troy. The way
it was short. Right? I know the son is Corey. The son is Corey and the man is Troy. Jeez. Look at her.
Viola Davis also did a start. Yeah, but I'm just like monologues. They're just so great because you could take them from anywhere. Like it's so crazy because you say monologue. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's from that play. Yeah, we like just things that pop up in your head.
Because this is life.
That's what I'm saying. And like for me, I feel like another fun thing to do, like when you look at like different monologues, different interviews and stuff like that from like interesting stories that you see on YouTube. Like I take different pieces of that and you combine it into one monologue, and it's so dope. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. So like if someone's just like, oh, bust a monologue.
A lot of people think that's not allowed. But like
sometimes they're just like, well, if you go to a theater audition, they're just like from a play. But it's like
a teacher even told me I could lie. A teacher was like, make up a play.
That's what I'm saying. How are they gonna know?
Your friend could write a play and you took it from your friend's play. So if you want to make up a monologue, go ahead and make up a monologue. Don't say I told you to, but
who's gonna know?
I don't think so. But I've definitely heard like people will piece together their own things and kill it. I mean, as long as you kill it, what are they really gonna say? Oh, August Wilson didn't write that. Sorry, next. Like, all right, yeah, okay.
All right. Well, your social medias, please share with us, and we can follow you. Check out the monologue, yours. I want people to check
out my monologue.
The fact that you've done Shakespeare means a lot to me because I wish we had that back in Kenya, but
Shakespeare. Shakespeare I actually used to love Shakespeare. I actually wanted to get back into it, but I think I started to appreciate Shakespeare more in college because I started to appreciate theater more in college because when I started doing acting, I started in like I said, voiceovers, TV stuff. So my love for theater grew, and it started. And you have to learn Shakespeare, so it's mandatory in the conservatory program, and I really loved it. And I was surprised at how well I understood it and grasp the concepts of I
feel like it's the basis of theater, right?
Sorry,
I feel like it's the basis of theater. It's the base.
People say you should learn Shakespeare before you learn anything else, so I was grateful that I was able to. So yeah, Shakespeare is the homie.
I've done more film acting like you, Mickalia, but I want to get into theater now because it looks more fun and it makes you have more to offer, I think, as an actor, right? So where can people find you on Instagram, Facebook? What's your social media handle?
Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram at Mickalia.cks. You spell my name like this: MICKALIA.CKS. Facebook. And if you want to learn more about me, you can go to Mickalia.com. MICKALIA.com. MICKALIA.
Mickalia.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice. I followed you. And
we saw each other before this. I have you.
I have you.
Everybody else, follow me at Lenique.inc. So Lenique Incorporated, basically. LENIQUE.INC.
Got it.
Ink. That was my favorite movie as a kid.
Thank you for
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your stories and your experiences. Thank you so much for understanding my English.
I can put my glasses
Oh, yeah, and that's how you go out. Like,
it on real quick so I can see.
thank you so much, guys. It was amazing to have you. I learned a lot personally. I don't know about the people who are watching. My mom is watching. Hi, mom. Yes, I really learned a lot from you guys, and thank you so much for even on behalf of all the other Black people who are seen to be in the entertainment, acting, and writing, and all the others, which is great. Yes. Thank you so much. It was really nice to meet you for Stan and Lenique. I love that name. I'm going to use it for a character. Can I? I'm
Yeah.
going to use it for a character when writing. It's great. I love it.
Thank you.
All
Thanks
right.
again for having us.